You know, you mentioned something about post tribbers. I want to do a test here. Everybody listening right now, if you're listening right now, we're going to do a little test here. We're going to test to see if you're saved. Okay. And you'll know. All right. First, I'm going to say the words, the pre-tribulation rapture. It's the only way. Okay. How'd that make you feel? All right.
Excited.
Did you get like inside?
Yeah, did you get angry?
I felt comforted by those words.
Yeah, felt comforted. Okay. And how about this?
Bob, why are you saying that?
Now I'm going to say this. Okay. Ready? See how you feel when I say this. Once saved, always saved. No matter how much you sin, you can never lose your salvation. If you're feeling like, if you're feeling that way right now, you're not saved. Okay. Because look.
End times and great resurrection report today, Bob. I got to tell you, that was a home run. I watched it this morning. If there's anything you want to share on that as well, if you haven't seen the resurrection report, we've been telling you it's coming, and Bob released it today. It's only about 20 minutes or so. Great report. Lots of good stuff in there, and knock yourself out.
Basically, that's how I'm going to do all my reports this fall season. I'll keep them around 20 minutes, something like that. And we're looking at New York City. We're talking about them. A lot of predictive programming about New York City. Just as a lot of stuff I've seen so many times in dreams and visions over the years, right, Kevin? About the destruction of New York City and how it either gets taken out by a tsunami, gets taken out by a nuclear weapon. All right. My guess is going to be a nuclear weapon. Then it's going to be double tapped with a tsunami, something like that. So it could be something like that, or a combination thereof with a nuclear weapon that causes tsunami. And we see them hide that in their money, the global elite and stuff like that. So there's something happening there. And the fact that you got Mandani over there running the show, running that city into the ground. Basically, it's at that point now where that city is on its last limb. And it's really turning into a place of a lot of hateful birds are there. All right. The book of Revelation talks about that. So what do you do with a lot of hateful birds, man? You kill them. You got to get rid of them. Okay. Not me personally. I'm a bird lover. And I have bird houses here, and a lot of the hateful birds that come here, I just let them eat. I don't chase them away. Around this area, they're called starlings or sterlings. All right. They're a very invasive species, but I still feed them still. But you know what I mean?
Yep.
Right. So there's something going on with New York and what's going on there right now with the lawlessness, and it's going to get worse. Look, if you turn that into a Muslim city, it's going to get destroyed. It's going to get destroyed just like every Muslim nation on this planet. Right? Look at Ezekiel 38 war. Look what happens to all the Muslim nations. They get destroyed. They're satanic, full death. Right? Very, very despicable places. Okay. So I think that's the direction that New York is heading right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not going the right direction. Let's be honest. I mean, and even the people that are living there that are agreeing with Mandami are when they got doxxed because of that new tax that he wants to do on those properties worth $5 million and higher. And then he released a list of like 900 and something thousand people. And like some of those people were complaining and saying, why would you do this? This makes no sense. I'm on this list. There was a CEO that was murdered in this city. Why would you want to dox us? What good is it doing? Even the people that are, and the person who even said this said, I'm supportive of the tax, but I'm not supportive of having my personal information out there. I just don't see what the goal is here. I don't see how that's going to help. Except that doxing, part of the definition of doxing is that it's a threat, basically, right? It is to entice somebody to do something because you've doxed them. And so that's all he could say is just like, well, I guess he's threatening me. I mean, what else could I take it? So Yeah, I agree that it's falling into the wrong hands. They have the wrong ideas. They are going about it the wrong way. I mean, all those things combined. And then, of course, just who lives there, the vast majority are unsaved. I think we can probably safely say that. I just don't see any better either. I don't see like a grand revival happening prior to the rapture, at least. And I just see that city continuing to go down. And this storm here wasn't huge. I mean, it was a storm. I mean, but it wasn't like I don't think they even got up to 60-mile-an-hour winds. Maybe very locally, but they were predicting like 5 inches of rain. Maybe a couple of areas got it, but I mean, the vast majority got between like 1 and 2 inches, which is really not that much when you think about it. But they did get a big storm last week, which saturated everything. And so when that happens and you have no absorption, well, you're going to immediately have water runoff, right? And a lot of that city functions underground. Their sewage system, their subway systems, their pipes, their electrical systems, all that stuff. So when that gets wet, you're going to have problems, right? And you're going to have a lot of transportation problems. As a matter of fact, I'm looking right now, and it says that there was a train collision on the Long Island Railroad early this morning. A train struck a large fallen tree near Smithtown, and the impact damaged the engineer's compartment and caused minor injuries. It caused delays, of course. There was tree and property damage in Queens. There was commuter rail disruptions, and especially in Metro North's Harlem line. And then there were some wind gusts, like I said, up to 50 and 60 miles an hour in localized areas that caused power outages and roadway flooding. There was a flash flood warning that was this morning, but now it's just flood watch until, well, about 8 o'clock Eastern, so a little bit over 2 hours from now. So, and I believe, Shane, you were saying Greg was having some issues as well, huh?
Yeah. Greg and Shannon messaged me this morning. It's what sounded like, I don't have my phone on me, but it kind of sounded like they're moving a little bit more to higher ground because there is a chance that their area could get hit a little bit. And it wasn't like a hurricane or anything, but it was enough to make them consider leaving their home for a reasonable amount of time. So I don't know if they're going back tonight or if they're staying somewhere else tonight. But yeah, so our prayers are for the people on the East Coast, because again, if you get hit with a storm and your ground gets saturated, it doesn't take very much to flood the sewers and everything like that. And then everything is going to back up down the streets. And we've seen photos of this stuff last year with the flash flood in New York, where cars were just stuck. And once cars don't run well underwater. Sorry, they don't. Combustible engines don't run well underwater. Doesn't work.
Yeah, well, electrical engines don't really work well underwater.
No, electrical engines don't work in electrical storms or anything like that.
But this is not nothing. And there are a few 100,000 people, that are impacted right now. So don't say that it's nothing, because it is something. It affects people. And through poor management, we're seeing in Washington as well, through poor forestry management and so forth, we are seeing fires get out of control, just like they do in California, because they don't manage their forests properly, as Trump says over and over and over again to Newsom. You're just not cleaning up your forest. You're just leaving it there and saying, well, that's what we do. We just leave. We just let let nature take its course. But if you let nature take its course, then nature doesn't think that you should have a house there. It's going to burn down. But if you maintain things and you keep things with a barrier, then you can actually have homes where you normally wouldn't have them, and then the threat is a lot less. But the fact is that they're poor managers of everything, and not only that, they're very lazy. The politicians of these big cities are very lazy. Like, they'll go to a grocery store and they'll say, hey, look at all the products. We're going to open up these. That's what Bob mentioned earlier, these free grocery stores. And they'll go there and they'll cut a ribbon with a gigantic scissors, and they'll be like all proud and boastful and puffing out their chest. And then the news report comes out 3 or 4 months later, and the guy's filming it. This is what happened. And I believe Kansas City, he's filming it, and there's nothing on the shelves.
Yeah.
Nothing on the shelves. Right?
They deliberately destroyed that city, and they do that all over the nation. Look, you infused all these immigrants, and they're the worst of the worst people coming in here because they have nothing to offer this country, right? They're just going to suck everything dry. They have no intelligence. They're very dumb for the most part, all right? So all they do is come here and just use everything. So this is why they had to open up all these free stores, okay? These people need to eat, all right? But by doing that, though, you cause all the people who are hardworking business owners and stuff like that to lose money, to lose their business and everything else like that, which ultimately destroys the capitalistic nature of our country. Okay. And if you destroy the capitalist nature of our country, Kevin, what do you have? You have a third world nation. Okay. So this is why they infused all those people into this country. And this is what's happening in Spain. Exactly the same thing now. All those people flood into Spain just like it used to when Biden was in. And what's happening? They're destroying all the stores, going to the stores, taking all the food, and they're saying on camera, we need food, we're hungry. Okay. And the government's like, you shameful store owners, open up your doors and give them all your food. Why? So we could destroy our economy? Exactly. Because we need every single nation and every prosperous place on this planet to be a non-producing, a low economic toilet crap hole for the tribulation. Okay. And that's the direction that we're heading right now. All right. But in order to have something like that happen, you got to send people like that into these areas. They're a third world nation for a reason. They're not smart enough to develop those areas. They're just not. Okay. So if you send them into our area, what's going to happen? They're not going to develop anything over here either. They're just going to take everything, eat everything, start killing people. Okay. That's what they do. Many of you who have been following us have heard of Operation Bible Storm. And what is it? It is the work of Feed My Sheep Today Army continuing after the rapture resurrection and during the 7-year tribulation. Our way of having Feed My Sheep Today Army continue its work during the 7-year tribulation. This is our fail-safe autopilot program that we have put together to continue throughout Daniel's 70th week. So what we've been doing is storing away Bibles in secret locations, and then they will be available for the tribulation saints, because God will know where those locations are at, and angels will guide the tribulation saints to these massive Bible stashes. Folks, this is what God instructed us to do now. We don't have much time left. And think about this. After the rapture, time's up. You can no longer do good works here on the earth unless you leave something that will be helpful to those who be left behind. Something that will bless them immensely and help lead them to Jesus Christ, like a gigantic stash of Bibles. This means you can continue to build up eternal rewards even though you are no longer on the earth. And think about this. What will your money, all your financial investments be doing for you 500 years from now, or 3,000 years from now, or for the rest of eternity? Nothing, unless you invested in the right place. You work so hard for all of it, and yet after the rapture, you just lose it all for eternity like it just happened for nothing. It doesn't have to be that way. If you invest it into God's kingdom, He will multiply it back to you and your family for eternity at the judgment seat of Christ. So, if you've been looking for that time to finish strong, folks, this is your opportunity. You can continue to finish strong while you're still here, and even after you're gone. If this sounds like something that you would want to do, all you have to do is go to our official website, feedmysheeptodayarmy.org. Link is in the description box below. There you can give by credit card, PayPal, bank draft, and many other online options as well, like Google Pay and more. And family, check this out. Now you can easily convert crypto and stocks into a donation as well. Any stock, any crypto, as easy as 1, 2, 3, and you're done. Or if you don't want to mess with any of this, all you have to do is just pick up your smartphone and text sheep to 801-801, and you can very easily give right there. Don't like giving online? No problem. Send your support by mail to Feed My Sheep Today Army to P.O. Box 568, Schererville, Indiana 46375. And now, to our surprise, people have been wanting to donate precious metals. So if you have any precious metals you want to donate that we can liquidate and infuse into the body of Christ, this is the same address that you will send those precious metals to. Now, if you decide to do this, do not write precious metals on the box, okay? Want to make a big impact but don't have the money to do it right now? Just become an Easy Feed monthly sustainer. We greatly need monthly sustainers. This allows Feed My Sheep Today Army to plan for next month by making solid commitments to the leadership in these areas that we will be visiting, because we know that the funds will be there at this point next month to take care of their needs. Plus, it's easier for you. Just set it and forget it. And this frees you up to do other things for the Lord while this is working on automatic on your behalf. And family, if you want to really easily streamline this process as well and make it much easier for yourself, you can now download the Feed My Sheep Today Army app on your device. The process of giving and managing what you're doing is so much easier using our app, so make sure to do that before you give. And make sure to track your investment by following all of our other social media platforms. Links are in the description box below. Feed My Sheep Today Army is ready to partner with you to make your impact in God's kingdom today. Thank you all so much for the many years of support. Let's finish strong together, family, and may God bless you all.
And you know, I saw some of the interviews that they had with some of the people that were storming that border in Spain, and what they were saying was, "I want my free house. I deserve it. I'm owed my free house." And then the other guy said, "You know, Morocco." And he's like, "Why are you leaving Morocco?" "Oh, Morocco's beautiful. It's great. It's just hard. It's hard to make a lot of money there. So I'm coming over here because in Spain you can get whatever you want for free." So you can see that the enablement problem is not just here in the United States, but it is a disease that is spread among the left. And don't be deceived. Spain is run by the left. It is a disease that is permeated throughout that mindset of entitlement / enablement that causes them to give free drugs to homeless, for example, and things like that. I mean, it's just, you would think that it's just idiocy. And that 20, 30 years ago, people were saying this will never happen. I mean, what third leading cause of death in Canada? Shane, you should know this.
The third leading cause in Canada? Stupidity?
Yeah. Well, pretty much. I mean, it's assisted suicide. So 20 years ago, if you told people that the third leading cause of death in a country is assisted suicide, they would never believe you. They would never believe you. They would say that's preposterous. People don't kill other people. Doctors have Hippocratic oath and this and that. But that's exactly what's going on in Canada. They're killing people because they're depressed. And this entitlement and this enablement of even to death is absolutely deplorable. And it is going to be part of the downfall of Western civilization that we're seeing right now. And Bob's got his finger right on the nose.
Which brings us back to New York City, because what's going on over there, that's a symptom of everything that's happening all over the world right now. And look, Satan has to bring down all the capitalistic strongholds of this planet in order to implement a mark of the beast. All right. You got to get to the people who are wealthy, business owners, who are independent, all right, and know what they're doing. And you got to get to them, and you got to essentially destroy their business or destroy the environment where their business is at. Like Walgreens, a lot of the place where they're moving out of these bad areas, okay, and many other businesses, for example, all right. So that's what they're doing. And you do that by sending in a lot of these immigrants into those areas, and they basically just destroy your store, and they destroy the environment right there. And people don't want to shop there no more. So guess what it causes you to do? Close up shop. It starts to decay everywhere. You send that stuff, and it starts like locusts. They're like people like locusts. They go there, they start eating everything. Everything dies. Okay, and they move these immigrants around all over the place. Give me my free house. Okay, that's a locust. Give me that free food. All right, I didn't grow that, but just give it to me. It's mine. I deserve it. That's a locust. Okay, and that's what these people are. Essentially, that's what they're using them for, because the tribulation is a time where you're not being a capitalistic person, Shane. During the tribulation, you have a mark of the beast, and you get yourself maybe about $2,000 a month from the Antichrist government to live, and that's it.
Yep.
And all the wealthy people are going underground right now. That's what they're doing right now.
Yeah, and you know, when the difference between you get food and water and you get beheaded, I mean, there's really not a good. I mean, look, if there was nothing spiritual about it, it would be a pretty crappy choice either way, wouldn't it? I mean, it would be like, wow, so I got to work all day just so that I can feed myself, and I'm not going to own anything, and I'm going to like it apparently, and or if I don't go with that, then I got to die immediately. So, I mean, now at least during the tribulation, you've got, if you do choose to get beheaded and not take the mark, the reason why you've done that is a spiritual reason, is that you believe in Jesus Christ, and that you believe the angel that's telling you, blessed are you who get beheaded. And you believe that the Bible narrative, as L.A. Marzulli will probably say those exact words on Thursday, the Bible narrative. And the key here, though, is that people have to understand that the mark of the beast is not going to be given out and taken by people who don't know what it is. Right. It's not going to be a mistake, in other words.
Yep. Yeah.
It's going to be a choice, and it's going to be taken by those who reject the truth of Jesus Christ. The Bible's very clear on that. The mark of the beast is not a shot that you take in your arm for a disease. It demands worship of the beast. Yeah. So, and it's very clear of what you're doing in there. It's very clear of why it's being hoisted upon the world. It's being hoisted upon the world because the people have rejected Jesus Christ, and that God needs to have a final test here before the millennium to see who's going to come into the kingdom. And it's going to be a hard road because, I mean, when you think about it, Shane, you've talked about this multiple times. So have you, Bob. After the rapture happens, the calamities that are going to occur, let alone the seals opening and all the judgments and everything like that, that's going to be the roughest time to ever live on this planet.
Yeah, I think there's kind of a mirage going on with post-tribbers, not to pick on them, but let's pick on them for a couple of minutes. The idea that it'll be business as usual every single day, and you're going to go find the Antichrist and all this kind of stuff. And when you look at, let's look at Daniel, when Nebuchadnezzar said, basically, when you hear the instruments and you hear all this stuff, I need you to bow down. And I could just picture in my head a bunch of Jews looking at these three young lads saying, hey, shh, do you know what's going to happen to you? Like, you're going to get killed. You're going to get tossed into the fiery furnace. Get down, bow. But there was only 3 Jews that didn't, and Daniel was somewhere else. These 3 Jews did not bow, and they also understood the idea that even if God didn't save them, they're still not bowing down. They're still not bowing down.
That's what they said, right?
So,
even if we clean up, we're still not.
So that's the condition in their heart is, even if God doesn't save us, we're still not bowing before you. Yeah. And they got executed, like executed, but miraculously delivered.
Yeah.
So that's important. They got executed. They got tossed into the fiery furnace.
Yep.
This is what's going to happen to people. There's nowhere for you to run. You're not going to be able to run and hide with all the surveillance, all the data centers, all the robots, DoorDash robots coming to your door sooner than later. and you're going to think you're going to walk out the front door, and you're so used to having your belly full because you're watching Monday Night Football, not to pick on football people. I like football. But you're so used to having your tummy full that the second you lose 3 square meals, you're going to be signing up for the B system immediately.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? And that it doesn't even count for all the lying signs and wonders that are going to be going on as well.
Yeah, we didn't even get there.
No, because those who are deceived, all that's going to be very, very real and plausible and absolute, and just like, I need to go along with this. And we saw what happens when people do that, 6 years ago, Bob? I mean, just trust the experts. You'll be fine.
You know, you mentioned something about post-tribbers. You know, I want to do a test here. Everybody listening right now, if you're listening right now, we're going to do a little test here. We're going to test to see if you're saved. Okay? And you'll know. All right? First, I'm going to say the words, the pre-tribulation rapture. It's the only way. Okay? How'd that make you feel? All right?
Excited.
Did you get like inside? Yeah,
did you get angry?
I felt comforted by those words.
Yeah, felt comforted. Okay. And how about this?
Bob, why are you saying that?
Now I'm going to say this. Okay, ready? See how you feel when I say this. Once saved, always saved. No matter how much you sin, you can never lose your salvation. If you're feeling like, if you're feeling that way right now, you're not saved. Okay, because look, the post-tribulation rapture aligns with a works-based gospel.
It does.
Completely. So if you believe in works for salvation, or a combination of, or you can lose your salvation, if you believe you can lose your salvation, you're trusting in yourself, and you should feel like you should lose your salvation, because we're horrible, sinful, fleshly people. Okay, I get it. All right. So if you're feeling that way, then yeah. So basically, works for salvation aligns with post-tribulation and even mid-tribulation. Okay, but once saved, always saved. That only aligns with pre-tribulation, because that's a gift.
That's
all right.
A gift.
That's a work that God does in you the moment you believe. Then He finishes the work at the rapture resurrection. He gives you a brand new spirit, and then at the rapture resurrection, He gives you a brand new body, and it's all a gift. It's all part of salvation.
Right.
The new spirit and the new body. The new tabernacle that you will dwell in forever. Right. That's all part of salvation. He just can't give us all a new body right away, because not all the members of the body of Christ have been saved yet. And years past, a lot of them haven't been born yet. So you can't just give everybody a glorified body the moment they get saved, because it wouldn't take any faith for those who get saved after them.
Right.
All right. This is why we all get a glorified body all at once at the end of this whole thing. This is why it's corporate birthday. It's called the body of Christ, not the bodies of Christ.
Right.
We are a corporate body together. And when that corporate body is born, everybody within the body of Christ over the last 2,000 years, which is probably billions of people, are going to receive a new glorified body. All on the same day, we'll have the same physical birthday. We'll all have the same birthday.